Right, we're going into 3 exposés, which has become a common feature of THI shows. And yes, it involves the 3-letter group again. 2 of them this time. So the WikiLeaks documents has now revealed that the CIA agents were given cover identities and diplomatic passports to enter the country. This was in Germany. And there was a base that was used to develop hacking tools as part of the CIA's massive digital arsenal. Now, the leaks purportedly revealed that a top-secret CIA unit used in the German city of Frankfurt as the starting point for numerous hacking attacks on Europe, China, and the Middle East. And so the Frankfurt base was reported that the group developed Trojans and other malicious software in the American Consulate General, which is the largest US consulate in the world. And the German daily newspaper reported that the building was known to be home to a vast network of intelligence personnel, including CIA agents, NSA spies, military secret service personnel, Department of Homeland Security employees, and Secret Service employees. And it reported that the Americans had also established a dense network of outposts and shell companies in Frankfurt. And the program's focused targets on Europe, the Middle East, and also Africa. And the documents revealed that the CIA experts, more like clowns, worked in the building undercover and include advice for life in Germany. And the report says, do not leave anything electronic or sensitive unattended in your room. And it also told employees, advising them to enjoy Lufthansa's free alcohol in moderation. One big piss up, one big piss take. You got to remember, it's the American people who are paying for these clowns. Just saying. The Frankfurt hackers, part of the Centre for Cyber Intelligence, which is an oxymoron, Europe, were said to be given diplomatic passports and a State Department identity, and it also instructed employees how to safely enter Germany. And a WikiLeaks tweet published a section of the Frankfurt information, and the consulate was the focus of a German investigation into US intelligence capabilities following the 2013 revelation that the NSA agents had tapped Angela Merkel's phone. So it also reported that the Americans had also, as I said, established a dense network of outposts and shell companies. They also, in the report, outed the fact that they turned televisions into bugs. An intelligence expert who examined the dump, Rendition InfoSec founder Jake Williams, told the news agency Associated Press that the documents appeared to be 100% legitimate. And Bob Ayers, a retired US intelligence official currently working as a security analyst, told the AP the release was real bad for the agency. Now, John Liu, a spokesman for the CIA, told we do not comment on the authenticity or content of purported intelligence documents. And according to WikiLeaks documents, it revealed that the CIA could remotely activate certain Samsung smart televisions equipped with cameras and microphones and turn them into bugs. Oops. Smartphones hacked was also covered in the report. and also claimed that if the CIA had hacked a cell phone, it could then bypass encryption methods used by popular chat programs such as WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, and Confide. Did I not warn years ago that encryption was fake? The CIA and NSA created it with backdoors so they could access it. And encryption was another of their seducement programs, all passed off as protecting your security and your privacy, when essentially you just gave them free rein to do the very things encryption was created for. We have to think better. And the idea of encryption was to target the ones who wanted their privacy and security protected. And what it is a reverse psychology trap. Compliant bots will accept anything, but those that think different and are aware will not. And the encryption was for those people. Now, the report said this prompted some concern at first online that all such messaging apps were no longer effectively encrypted. They weren't to begin with. But the exploit only applied to people whose phones were already compromised, like all of them. All apps, no matter which non-thinking person tells you otherwise, are part of their network. And according to the leaks, the CIA has undocumented exploits on popular smartphone models. But when you understand, like I laid out in the Clowns in Panic show, all phones, all apps are deliberately compromised and are also being ran on your data to create cryptocurrency, which is why your phone freezes at times, why your batteries drain, and why you need to replace phones every 2 years so they can add more software for larger data collection. You know, the most popular app, or one of the most popular, is the Weather Channel. And it's fine to get warnings, but to get that app, the Weather Channel needs access to all your contacts, texts, pictures, emails, messenger, and social media accounts. In other words, they are collating your whole life. Now, people may ask, why would the Weather Channel do that? Because the Weather Channel is ran by IBM and their Watson AI system. You know, some people are saying I'm only going on about apps because of Life Force. No. They're sleepwalking their people into what they want. Maybe they deserve it. That's what happens when you chase pieces of paper and illusion. And in a series of tweets, the NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden said deliberately leaving vulnerabilities in software and hardware open left public users susceptible to attacks. And the documents also revealed that the CIA had the ability to conduct false flag attacks using malware that has been stolen from other countries. Oops. And also, they said the dump showed that the CIA had lost control of its arsenal of hacking tools. Wonder how that happened. And I wonder whether she's put it all back. Now, WikiLeaks was said to be given the files by an anonymous source who wanted to shed public light on the hacking programs, and the collection of documents vastly outnumber the trove on the NSA released by Snowden. The next part of it, listen closely. It's the next seducement program by the alt media. And in line with this Frankfurt disclosure, it appears that the CIA was using the same foreign data center to hack the US elections and got caught. And this may be why, as the Gateway Pundits reports this week, the CIA was completely out of their server raid operation, rumoured to take place in Germany. They were left out. And the raid was likely levelled against the CIA's own server farm that ran the remote Dominion Skittle hacking operation the night of the election. All interesting stuff, no doubt. But what does it change? One rogue administration replacing another, neither of which has or will address the now blatantly obvious elephant in the room on a global scale, the CIA. Now, one thing I keep hearing, which always raises alarm bells to me, is release the Kraken, which has been repeatedly put out like a meme in the last few weeks. But the Kraken is a joint CIA and DoD cyber warfare program. That is what the Kraken is. And you really think those organizations will work for the people of the country? The CIA and the DoD. Release the Kraken. What from investigation? Prosecution? And what this is direct evidence of is faction fighting. The DoD, remember, had prior knowledge of this fake virus, and that is why they stockpiled PPEs in December of last year, only for Kushner to double deal them with deals with China and India. This is what it's all boiling down to. Faction fighting. The CIA itself now has 4 separate departments known as Langley 1 through 4. Langley 1 is the Reaganites. 2 is the Nazis, white and Zionist. 3 is the Obama-led Muslim Brotherhood, and 4 is an elevated version of the previous 3, and I suspect not entirely human either. So assuming all this is correct and they release the Kraken, which group will arrest them? Another clan group is what? That's what people have to understand. Because someone gets arrested does not mean it was done for the benefit of we the people. I've been talking about this for 5 years. It's roughly 5 years this week or this month, give or take, since I did the Factions show. Trump had 4 years to build a peoples-based task force. We at THI were tasked to envision the new way and develop it for and by the people, until someone decided their ego had to be more important than the people's. And maybe now you know why Trump said he was withdrawing the troops from Germany recently. This is why. His CIA buddies, it seems like Pompeo, told them to get everyone out for fear of arrests and or prosecutions. And what this reveals is something that I've stated all along. The vast array of global issues on all levels somehow always have the sticky fingerprints of the CIA involvement in it. And we can carry on blaming Chinese, Russians, Koreans, Iran, Cuba, and every other created boogeyman country. But the global issues all stem from the Five Eyes groups with other agencies attached to it, like the P2 Lodge and Mossad, with the CIA playing a central role in all of it. They need to be thrown out of every country and arrested upon entry into America and charged with crimes against humanity. And I'm asking all CIA agents and their subsidiary companies to be then investigated, closed down and or repurposed. Only then can we begin to fix the unearthly mess that organisation has created. And what this also tells you is it was they who cheated in the recent elections. Yet where is the media outcry? Oh, did I tell you that the CIA runs them as well? To all the agents within the CIA and those actually interested in looking out for your fellow Americans, I'm told you need an IQ of 135 to 140 to join. I'm asking you all to use that and shut the abomination that you are connected to down. People in your organisation are going to destroy everything, including you. I know this show goes into language. I'm appealing to you all to stand up now. We go from one major agency to another one now. But we haven't covered much of the rogue elements within this organisation to date, but tonight we focus on the FBI a bit. The primary mission of the FBI, formerly law enforcement, was noted to have silently changed in 2013 to national security. And the FBI spokesman Paul Bresson stated dryly that when our mission changed after 9/11, our fact sheet changed to reflect that. And a web page posted at cve.fbi.gov in February 2016 claimed that it's the FBI's primary responsibility, working with its many partners, to protect the nation from attacks by violent extremists. If only that was correct. Where were they with Black Lives Matter and Antifa? Nowhere to be seen. And you'll find out why soon. And the fact that they became national security, what that means is they came under the same blanket cover of the CIA and NSA, whereby their own crimes could not be investigated and called the National Security Act. The FBI has a roster of 15,000 spies who not only infiltrate and report back information, but actively assist and encourage people to commit terrorism so that the FBI can then catch them. Yes, you heard that correct. They actively assist and encourage people to commit terrorism so that the FBI can catch them. In 2012, Project Censored reported that the majority of terrorist plots in the United States were actually incited by FBI agents, and reports that such informants then receive cash rewards of up to $100,000 per case. What nice people they are. Not. People get killed or maimed in terrorist events, and they are running them to collect cash bonuses. How much lower will people stoop for pieces of paper with numbers on them? The reality is it's become a cancer on society, this insane drive for lots of pieces of paper, whereby anything and everything goes just to attain it, like drugs, guns, organ harvesting, adrenochrome, child and sex trafficking. The people not see that as pure evil for a currency that is not even real money. $100,000 and people die, and they are inciting it and creating it. Now, in the days of Edgar Hoover, the FBI was widely feared as a tool of blackmail. Oops. But in the 21st century, however, its activities are more blatant. Child pornography being one of them. The FBI has run several child pornography websites, and the ACLU obtained documents indicating that it was actually authorized to take over 23 child pornography websites in addition to what is called the playpen. Entrapment. The FBI coerces thousands of young people as the price for settling a minor legal problem into dangerous careers as an informant. That is the same tactic the CIA use. And many lead people within the alt media have fallen victim to that entrapment. A number of them. Now, Sarah Stillman, writing in the New Yorker that the snitch-based system has proved notoriously unreliable and has fueled wrongful convictions. Mass surveillance. Since at least 2010, the FBI has been planting hidden microphones in a range of places, from light fixtures in courthouses to car parks, bushes and bus stops. In January of 2016, guidelines based on the UK's widely criticised Prevent programme, they told high schools across the USA to report students who criticise government policies and Western corruption as potential future terrorists. Like the member said earlier, bot schools. Assassinations. Although the FBI tracks how many police officers die in the line of duty, it keeps no such record for how many civilians are killed by the police each year. Statements. Matt Connolly, a former deputy district attorney, noted in 2015 that the FBI, listen closely, does not record its interviews. Instead, 2 FBI agents ask questions and listen to the answers without tape recording or obtaining a certified transcript. Instead, they returned to their office and, based on their recollection and any notes they may have taken during the interview, write up a summary of what transpired. And summaries are, in most cases, written hours later and sometimes even the following day. And this record, inaccurate as it might be, then becomes the official record of what was said during the interview. Just us, not justice in action right there. And when you add in the fact that Americans have the shortest attention span of all leading countries, and yes, it's a fact, and this is how they conduct investigations in business. The potential for innocent people to go to jail and have their lives ruined because some jackass in the FBI misses or missed out key portions of an interview due to poor recall or deliberate inflection of the facts. September the 11th, 2001. Rex Toom, Chief Investigative Publicity for the FBI, asked, why was there no mention of 9/11 on Osama bin Laden's most wanted webpage? He replied that the reason why 9/11 is not mentioned on Osama bin Laden's most wanted page is because the FBI has no hard evidence connecting bin Laden to 9/11. Oops. Also on that day, the FBI arrested 5 Israelis spotted in Manhattan behaving suspiciously. They referred to the group as the High Fivers after their apparent glee at the 9/11 attacks, but who are elsewhere known as the Dancing Israelis. Now, the group, which included in those 5 2 Mossad agents, were detained for 70 days and then deported, not jailed. Why should they be jailed? Well, you'll find out soon. The 3 of them later stated on Israeli TV that they were in New York City that morning to, quote, to document the event, unquote. Remember Netanyahu saying 9/11 was good for us, and yet millions in this country still want to believe it was the Muslims. Well, technically, that is correct, as Islam and the Torah Talmud are one and the same religion, if you research it to the same level that I have. Israel Cohen warned in 1912 the goal was to deliver America to the Zionists. 9/11 began the fall of America, and with people like Kushner and several other Zionist fake Jews running all key posts in our country, that fall will not stop until America is rendered a defenseless third world country. Don't believe me? Look around you. It's already happening. It's not dystopian and future or like Star Trek and all the other ET programs. It's now and the past. And it's a hostile takeover by stealth. And people are shit scared to speak up due to anti-Semitism labels. But the point is, these people are not even Semites to begin with. It was their ancestors of these people who destroyed the Garden of Eden and then spread their filth globally. And as the line stated in the 100 series, quote, Eden never had a chance with 2 serpents in the garden. Unquote. Serpents being the operative word. Eve was a serpent. Then we come to the FBI and the 2001 Anthrax Attacks. Prompted the most expensive investigation in the FBI's history, costing around $100 million. That is more evidence of money laundering, as it was clear to any rational thinking person who was involved in that, and yet again it was the CIA and their research labs. And it blamed a Bruce Ivans, who was a lone nut, common loop theory that, who had just been found dead, coincidentally, or coincidentally, which then avoided the need for a trial. And Richard Lambert, the FBI officer who was put in charge of the investigation, said that the investigation suffered from intense compartmentalization and a lack of critical resources such as bioweapons experts. With $100 million fund? Again, does that make any sense? And he sued the FBI in 2015, alleging that they were concealing evidence that would have exonerated Bruce Ivans. And then we come to this document out of the FBI. This was part of an official memo to the FBI. The date, November the 22nd, 1963. 1 hour and 15 minutes after the fatal shooting of JFK. At 1:45 p.m., George Herbert Walker Bush, president of the Zapata Offshore Drilling Company, Houston, Texas, residence 5525 Briar, Houston, telephonically furnished the following information to writer by long-distance telephone from Tyler, Texas. Bush stated that he wanted to be kept confidential, but wanted to furnish hearsay that he recalled hearing in recent weeks, the day and the source unknown, he said. He stated that one James Parrott has been talking of killing the president when he comes to Houston, and Bush stated that Parrott is possibly a student at the University of Houston and is active in political matters in the area. He stated that he felt Mrs. Foley and gave a telephone number, or Arlene Smith and another telephone number of the Harris County Republican headquarters would be able to furnish additional information regarding the identity of Parrott. Yeah, Parrott being the operative word. Bush stated that he was proceeding to Dallas, Texas, and would remain in the Sheraton Dallas Hotel and return to his residence on the 23rd, the following day, and left his office telephone number. Yes, Bush was getting out of the way. Why? Because pictures put him at the scene at the time in the doorway of the repository as the motorcade went past, including Ted Cruz's father. Oops. Harry Truman stated this in a memo. Dear Bess, we want no Gestapo or secret police. FBI is tending in that direction. They are dabbling in sex life scandals and playing blackmail. Again, a copy of the CIA tactics. And he stated Edgar Hoover would give his right eye to take over, and all congressmen and senators are afraid of him. I'm not, and he knows it. If I can prevent it, there will be no NKVD, which is the Israeli Gestapo that trampled all over Italy in the so-called Bolshevik Revolution, by the way, or Gestapo in this country. And he said Edgar Hoover's organisation would make a good start towards a citizen spy system, and it's not for me. But that is exactly what it turned into. And Hoover, like many others of that time just after the war, including the sheriffs, more commonly known as Bush, was of German descent and ran with their Dutch counterparts like Eisenhower, and yet people still believe America won the Second World War. If they did, why were Germans and Dutch running all the highest positions in the American government in the 1950s and onwards?